Any questions from anyone from the last session? So in the last session, this is what we completed. These are the few setups we performed in the system. The purpose of each and every setup also we discussed. So any questions on this, please?
Lakshman, it's not with respect to last class, but before classes.
Yeah, please.
Actually, we will define. We are using predefined things, right? For few like currency and roles. But is there any chance if we want to create new ones, can we create, or it is standard thing that we need to use only
See,
predefined
whatever
ones?
whatever available as a seeded, those you can create on your own. But really you have to look at the reality. So currency, do you think any requirement to create new currency? No, right?
Yes.
Always we use seeded currency. When you talk about roles, yes, we can customize a role. How we customize the menus in EBS. So by understanding the organization practices, Oracle is providing predefined roles. Once we get into our core inventory purchasing, we'll see those roles. As of now, we have seen the roles which are very generic roles for implementation purpose, and GL roles we have seen. Those are seeded, predefined roles which are delivered by Oracle as a part of product solution. So say Oracle is going to provide one role which will give you the access for inventory related all the functionalities, but you have a user whom you want to allow just to record the to create the receipts only. In that case, whatever the role Oracle is providing, that you can copy and you can modify, you can remove rest of the functionalities except receipt creation, or else from the scratch you can create your own role. We can do that. We can create the custom roles as per our requirement. When you talk about currencies, no need to create. There is no need of new currency creation when Oracle is already providing. It totally depends. We are dealing with which data. Based on that, whatever Oracle is providing, whether we have to create or not, we can understand. When I talk about roles, in every project, in EBS, in every project, in every implementation, we create many custom menus based on the user roles in the respective department. What they do, accordingly, we create the menus and will be provisioning the access through responsibility. In the same way, Fusion also we create custom roles. We'll be covering that part also as a part of our course content. We mentioned we'll be working on it. I'll show you how to look into the role, selecting the role, what information, what privileges the role has, selecting two roles and comparing those two roles, what functions are, what privileges are similar, what privileges are distinct, and how to copy the roles. We discussed different type of roles, job roles, duty roles, how to copy and how to create based on that role by modifying, or else how to create the role from the scratch. So these are all points we'll be discussing. Okay,
Okay, okay. Thank you.
so only we have to look at, we are dealing with which data, whether that need to be seeded. Roles are seeded, currencies are seeded, but currencies we don't need to create, but roles we will create as per requirement. Done. So any other questions, please? I think we done up to sub inventory. Okay, now let's talk about item class. So we don't have any concept called as item class. So what we do in EBS, we just manage the items, we create items. Items we can take into different categories. We can create the categories and we can classify the items into categories. But this item class is very broad. Still we have a category concept in the Fusion also. But here the item class is very broad level classification. Okay, item classification is very broad level classification. What we can do with item class? So within your organization, what are the items you are dealing? Those you can maintain the hierarchy. Means the categories, similar to categories, the hierarchies you can maintain as an item with the help of item class. Say for example, you are going to deal with the computers. You can create one item class called as computers. This is item class. Under this item class, you can create again child item classes. I'll say one is desktop item class, other one is laptops item class. We can create like this. Why we are creating like this? Just to maintain the classification of items with more detail level, with a detailed segregation. Here I have a computers item class. Under that, this is a, we treat as a parent item class. Under parent item class, we can maintain the child item classes. Now you can decide if you want to create any item, we require item class. Now you can take the decision with the help of which item class you want to create the items. Ideally, if you are going to have item classes like this, for this you can call as parent item class. Parent level item creation we set as a no, because it got child item class. Ideally, we provision item creation to child item classes only. Here we'll set for this item class item creation as yes. Item creation we set as a yes. Item creation will set as a yes. So this is how you can create. You can create this kind of parent and child, or else under this you can create another item class which will be again child to this desktop. So based on our requirement, you can just classify the items, how, what category of what classification of items we are going to maintain within the inventory. In the process of item creation, to simplify the item definitions, we can use these item classes. So we'll see item class level what we can do. Okay, when we are going to create the item, the first point is without item class you cannot create item class. Sorry, without item class you cannot create the item. So that is the reason item class is definition is mandatory in the system. So when I talk about item class, so item class level, which information you can specify. So item class level you can specify a lot of information, but very important information we'll discuss. Anyway, we'll do when we create the item class, we can see and understand. We can just set item number generation. So item class level, when you create the item, we have to select item class. In the item class level, if I am going to set the number should start from 1, by using the item class, specific item class, if you create item, so whatever the items you create with the help of specific item class, that number only it will follow. For example, I am going to create these two item classes. So one is desktop item class, other one is laptops. Now I can set different numbering for these items. So for this number I should start from 1 for this item class. For this it should start from 1001. If I am going to create one desktop item, for that it will assign the number as 1. If I am going to create any laptop item, it will create the number as a different number, because item classes are different. So that's how just you can set the numbering, and again you can give the detailed specification with how many numbers it has to increment. And if you need any prefix or suffix for item, that also you can specify at the time of item class definition. Within the item class only you can specify all this. And again, along with the numbering, you can set the security. Okay, you can set the security. What does it mean by security? So say you have item class and you want to create the item. What is our username? ERP3. Being a ERP3 user, if I want to create the item, we cannot create. If you want to create the item, you have to be, the user need to be listed in the item class by saying this user can create item. This user can perform which other actions on the item also you have to specify. That means with item class you can set the security who can create the items by accessing this item class. Within this item class, what are the item class I am going to create? Within that item class, if I include the user called as ERP tree, only that ERP tree user can see the item class. If the user can see the item class, then only the user can create the items. Again, that ERP tree user can create items by using this item class, specific item class. Let's call it as ABC item class. Just for example, I'm taking ABC, or else any just item class name I'll give as a computers. I'm not going with the parent and child hierarchy. Just item class name is computers item class. So at the computers item class level, if I select the person as ERP tree, so only for ERP tree user this item class would be available. Computers item class can be accessed by ERP tree user. Okay, it would be available for ERP tree user. Again, you have to specify ERP tree user can create the items by using this item class for which item master organization. Item master organization. Okay, maybe item master organization 1. ERP tree user will have access to this computers item class to create the items. But for which inventory organization? Item master organization 1 only. If you have one more inventory organization called as item master organization 2, this user cannot create the items for that item master organization by using this item class definition. If you want to allow the ERP tree user to create the items with the help of this item class for item master organization 2 also, you have to include item master organization 2 also within the item class by using this security. That means you can clearly specify who can access this item class to create the items. Again, for which organizations they can create. You can specify the person name, or else you can specify the role. The user who has access to product manager role, that person can create the items by using this item class. And for which organization, that also you have to specify. That's how you can set the security. The person can access the task called as item class who has access to implementation project. Once they get into the task, the access only depending on the security attributes which will be setting within the item class definition. Okay, the first point is the item number generation you can set in the item class level, and again who can create the items by using this item class, that too for which organization they can create this item classes. Okay, items with the help of item class, that you can specify. Apart from that, even you can set the item templates. Okay, item templates also you can define the item templates. You can associate at item class level when you are creating the item. So all these will work when you are creating item. By using which item class you are creating item, based on that system will generate the numbering. So whether that user who is trying to create the item, if they have access to that item class, then only they can create the items. And what are the item templates you are going to maintain within the item class level, those templates would be available to apply for your new items which you create in the system. Okay, so just these are the key points we have to understand. Once you get into the application, will go detail level. So this is what you have to understand. Okay, item class, it's a very broad level classifications for items which you manage. For item creation purpose we use it for broad level classification, which will help us for item creation. When we are creating the item, with the help of item class you can generate the numbering, you can enforce the security, who can create, who cannot create the items with the help of this item class. Again, the templates also you can maintain based on the what purpose we have this item class. Computers, when you are going to create the items related to computers, within the computers what are the different type of computer items you are going to create, accordingly you can create the item templates. Okay, so this is how just you can maintain the item class. So you can use that item class to create the item. Fine. Any question to understand this point, please?
Is this item class mandatory when we are creating items?
Mandatory. Without item class, you cannot create item. It's a mandatory setup.
What made Oracle to make this security at the item class level? Any idea?
Yeah, the reason is now in EBS it's just an application here. This product management for many areas of solution. Okay, many areas of solution. So when we look at this product management, you can use in the variety of functional areas, not only just creating and maintaining the items. You can integrate these items with your e-commerce web applications, and you can do some kind of research related to items. Means you will be planning and designing the items, and you will be going with in terms of item development, different life cycles, product life cycle management, means item development, and some ideology related concepts, everything they included as a part of this product management. This is a common item definition, is common for any area of item. So you may use directly within the application, or else you may use in the e-commerce process, or you may use in that R&D process, or some item development life cycle management. In the different aspects we'll be using. So in all these areas, by considering wherever some sort of security is required, by default they applied. When we are going to use this item in our very standard P2P and O2C cycle process, the security may not be required in your organization. But ideally, they given the provisioning of giving the security for specific users whom it is required in your organization. As per your organization policy, you may not set, but still, if you are going to use this Fusion application, it is mandatory.
So Lakshman, so is item class, is it similar to item categories in EBS?
No. Categories are different. Can you control all this at category level?
No. So I guess my question is,
Still we have categories. Okay, item class is totally different. It will stand on top of it. Item, with the help of item class, you will create the item. Once you create the item falls under which category you can specify.
Right. So can you have more than one item class? We have to define for different type of items?
Yes. You can create. You can create one item class for maybe for computers, one item class maybe for say some automobiles, depending on the broad level classification of item. In the process of item definition, so what are the different kind of definition methodologies you required to maintain the items and to take into different processes? Based on that, you can create the item classes. Say simple, you have a 4 classification of items in your organization. For 4 classification of items, you want to go with the separate numbering, and you want to give the access to the relevant areas of the people who are working on that. So in that case, simply numbering you require separately for different item. So you can plan to take them into different item classes. You can create item classes accordingly. How you want to provision the security for the people, based on that you may decide the item classes. Okay, how the numbering is required, how you want to set the security for those item creations within your organization, accordingly you can plan the item classes. Just I'll show you the sample examples for item classes. Later we can get into the discussions, but just to give you understanding, otherwise you may have many questions. You may start thinking how those item classes can be decided, what base, what are the best examples for that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Lakshman,
I'm going to show you after discussion. We'll start with that. Yeah, please go ahead.
on the item numbering, most of the companies, they use predefined item numbers, right?
Yeah, in that case, you can set manual.
Okay.
Can item be associated with multiple item classes, or one item classes, one-to-one?
With the help of item class, you create the item. Do you think you create one item multiple times?
No, but one item will have the
No. It's a simple
multiple
point.
item class
To
type, right?
understand this basic point, what we are discussing, you can get your answer. Item class we use to create item creation purpose we use. Now you ask your question.
Let's say in the computers we have mouse, right? In the mouse we can use in laptop and as well as a desktop. So when you are creating the mouse as item, then how you recognize as item class?
You use one item class to create the item. In that case, you may use a computer's item class only to create the computer related spare parts, etc. You have to take the
Okay.
decision that.
Either laptop or either
Yeah.
desktop.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. Okay.
What parameters required? Attributes matter, right?
But yeah, that's true. But one to item and item class is always one to one then, right?
Yeah, with one item class, you can create one item. That's it. And
Okay.
multiple items you can
Okay.
create. One item you will be creating from one item class only.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So usually in this case, the item class would be generally separate, like computer accessories or something like that. Right?
I'm
Because
sorry.
mouse.
I lost you. Could you please repeat your question?
So I'm saying so in this case, there will be a separate item class altogether because this comes under accessories, right? Most
Yeah,
of the time, Amazon.
you may create. See, when you create an
Yeah.
accessory, accordingly, which attributes, which item add, you are creating the accessory related item. For that, which attributes you required, how the numbering need to be generated. Okay, which are the predefined
Yeah.
templates you want to use. The accessories item access you want to give to which employees in your organization, the security, all you think these are same as your computer item definition. Yes, create the mouse also within the item class called as computers. Later you may modify the attributes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you can do it. To simplify the item definition only, we use these item classes, but these are mandatory. I'll just take you to the application so that you can see and understand. But when we are defining, you can understand more detail level. So these item classes you can access from your project only. Go to your implementation project. Search for the task called as item class. Okay, search for the task called as item classes. So here we have the item classes are available from product management, material management, and procurement financials. Okay, just click on manage item classes. I'm just choosing product management path. Just click on go to task icon. So before we get into that page, by default Oracle provide one root item class. A root item class, whatever the item classes you create, those all you have to create under same root item class. I will go here. So these are the item classes which are already available within this instance. If you notice here, there is a item class called as root item class. This is seeded, predefined. Okay, you cannot create your own root item class. So all the item classes should fall under the same root item class. These are the different item classes. Just you see, you can understand what purpose. For automotive item definitions, according you can create item class, what numbering is required for automotive items, and for which people are will be involving in the business process to create automotive items, and ideally which templates you use. When you say templates, it's all about attributes, right? The status attributes, there are many attributes. Anyway, now after this discussion we are going to talk about the attributes only. So in the same way, documentation related items and finance related items and healthcare related items and industrial items, life science related items, and retail service software, different item classes are created within this. Okay, within this different item classes are created. So this is how you can create the item classes and you can maintain here. So if you just look at this item class, Okay, this is the root item class, this is the seeded one. So these are the item classes here only we can create. And here if you notice few item classes, there is one item class called as industrial. If you expand that, under that there are some child item classes. And if you notice here, item creation allowed, they specified item you directly you can create and within this industrial item class, or else these are the some sub item classes you can call a child. So these level also you can create, any level you can create the item. Okay, any level you can create the item. This is how you can create. Okay, simple. Like if you want to create this, here we have healthcare as a one item class. If you want to create some hierarchy under that, if you want to create few more healthcare related item classes, which are some sub classifications within your organization. Somebody mentioned here one point, computers. If it is a computers is your item class, if you are going to create item called as mouse, what you will do, under computers I may create one more item class for mouse, but that much granular level we no need to create. But to take this example, okay, to understand this item class and hierarchy, so if you have item class called as computers, under that you may create one more item class called as mouse, but generally we don't do that. So the same way here you can select healthcare, under that if you want to create one more item class, by selecting this, if you click on create, whatever the item class you create, that will fall under this. This is how it will create the expand option. If you click on expand, it will show. If you want to create direct item class, you have to select the root item class. This will help us to create the item class. These all item classes which you see here, all are created by selecting this root item class. These all are created and maintained under root item class only. Okay, so this is how you can find the item classes. But anyway, we'll create. It's mandatory, we'll create. So item class level, we can give this numbering, security, and item templates. Any questions to understand this item class, please? Anyway, once we create in the system, it will give you more clarity on the item class. But what are the points we discussed based on that? Any questions, please?
Lexman, question, please.
Yep.
Based on which criteria I will decide to create new item class in the company? And I will say if this
the same points. See here, based on numbering. Okay. First of all, item classes by classifying the items. Here you can see that example. Healthcare products. Okay. Software related products, items, and industrial, life science. It's a broad level classification of items. Okay. Automotive. And
it's category in this case.
No.
If category will play the same role.
One second. So you have automotive and some other, or else I'll take like healthcare and life science. I'm taking these two categories we have. But this healthcare related items and life science related items, whatever we are going to create, you want to give the same numbering, same sequence, one sequence you want to follow. You no need to maintain the separate sequence for those numbers. And the people who are going to create these two categories of the items, healthcare and life science, for example, the people are going to be same, and almost templates also you want to use the same. In that case, you don't need to create two item classes. For both, you can create one common item class. That would be that will be enough for you to create the two category of the items with the help of one item class. Okay, very primarily numbering, how you want to manage the numbering, separate numbering or common numbering, and the security. The different people will be working for those item creation, means create separate item classes. The two type of items, two classifications of items, same people will be working. In that case, you can create one item class. And item templates, it's a very important, where we set up all the item attributes. That is also very important. And again, anyway, within one item class, you can have a number of item templates also. Which template you can require, you can use it. If you are going to have one item class, yeah, please.
template is something different from the template. The definition of EBS template
No,
is
no, no.
different from
Same
EBS
thing,
template, right?
same template.
But you said attributes. It's attributes. It's user-defined attributes. It's
Yeah, correct. In EBS, what is the purpose of item template? To set predefined attributes.
you use the standard attributes, the common attributes. It's not user-defined attributes.
No, 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 no. I think you are not aware of it. So what is
No,
the
I'm
template?
aware. I know the point.
No,
I
the
know this
reason
point
I'm
very well.
explaining. Wait 1 second.
Hmm.
What is the use of item template in EBS? Just one line answer you can give.
To create item
When we are
or
creating
to
the
copy
item,
this.
to simplify
Yeah.
the process of item definition, when we are creating,
Right.
instead of going and selecting the attributes, which attributes you require,
Yeah.
say inventory, stockable, transactable, purchased,
Yes.
purchasable. Instead of manually setting, what you can do is all the attributes you can predefine. For which attribute you want to enable, which attribute you want to disable, based on which template you are creating. You are creating the finished good template or purchase template. In the item template, we'll set all the attributes are predefined attributes. Predefined in the sense you
Yes.
don't create attributes. Attributes Oracle is providing. Whatever Oracle is providing, the value selection you predefine. You set it. Then when you are creating the
Yes.
item, you can select the template. Those will default to our item. If you want to override, you can override. Right? The same purpose, same item templates we have in the Fusion. That's what I'm trying to say. Both are same.
No, there is something else, next man. You can define your own attributes for the item.
No.
Say sets.
One second. We have a different type of item attributes. Okay. You can have a different type of item attributes. You have a status item. What are we have a different classification for item attributes, right?
Yes.
So depending on the attribute, you can create your own.
Yes. You can create your own attributes.
Yeah, that is different. That is different. I am talking about item.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. Yes.
You are talking about different type of item attributes. Oracle will allow you to create some additional information attributes and user defined attributes. Those are different.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the point. And if you have another different attribute.
Yeah. No, just you ask the question. The template concept is same or not? I said yes. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. We will see it later.
Yes. Okay. So item template concept same as EBS. That is the point I am trying to explain. Okay. Whether we can create item attributes or not, that is a different thing, right?
Okay. Is there any approval workflow for item creation?
Yeah, you can set approvals also. By default, it will, whenever you create the item, it will auto approve. You can create item request also. I'll cover that, how to submit the request.
Okay.
See all those. Yeah. Fine. So the
category, default category, root category we are seeing, right? I mean,
it's not a category. Sorry, it's not a category. That is class. Categories are different.
Class.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It will be available on fresh implementation also.
Yeah. Fresh implementation only it would be available in any instance. Available.
That is seeded one.
Yeah, this is seeded one. Under this only you will create all the item classes which you require for your organization.
Under that only we are going to create all the required classes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Fine.
What is the use? I mean, I didn't get a sense of this default category class.
Sorry.
What is the use of that root class, root item class one? Without that, how can't we create our new one?
So the clients who are not going to use this product hub, okay, this all are part of this product management only. So if you don't want to allow the users, what I could say, like to create the new item classes, since they are not going to take any license, if they are not going to take the subscription for this product information management, product hub. Okay, so this all, if client is not going to take, Oracle will give only root item class as a default item class, which is required as a part of product. That has to be mandatory, so that the inventory organization definitions and other basic definitions, they may not use this inventory functionality, so they can create some dependency definitions based on this root item class. The Oracle will provide only this root item class as a default item class. So to support those scenarios, they given root item class, otherwise not required. Who are going to take the subscription for this product management, for them they'll give the option to create our own item classes. Who are not taking the subscription, still it is as a shared service, they'll give the access to root item class. That's it, as a
You're not
default
supposed
item class.
Thank you.
Yeah, for that we have a separate task also. If you want to see, just I'll show you root item class that Oracle will provide a default. If they access to this, they cannot find anything, they cannot access to this page also if they are not taking the subscription for that. But as to keep as a fundamental definition as a part of product solution to support the dependencies with the different applications, integrations and processes, they are providing default item class. This only will be available if they don't take license, say subscription for this PIM. So default item class, if you click on this, just click on this default item class, they can see only root item class. This only can be accessed by the people who are not going to have a subscription for this. Okay, so for that purpose they given, but even when we take the license, when we are able to create our own item classes, still that will remain same, that they made as a seeded default for any sort of subscriptions. You may take subscription for PIM, you will get it. If you don't take subscription also, still it is required as a part of product solution to support many other integrations and process as a dependency related. Wherever this item class is required, user may not create as per their subscription, still some default one is required. That's how they can complete those setups wherever the specification is required. So that's how they can make use of it. Fine. So this only they can access the item class creation. They cannot have access if they don't have subscription or call it as a license in case of on-premise. Fine.
Does it provide seeded templates?
Yeah, seeded templates Oracle provides. Still we can go and modify those, or ideally normally we create our own, or else the seeded only you can modify. However, you feel that will help you accordingly, you can work on it. Oracle is providing the seeded templates they provide. Okay, we're talking about item template, right?
So, Lakshman, if we
Yes,
have a
yes,
license for the product management, then when we create an item class, does that item class has to be created under the root item class, or can we just
Root
create
item
a
class
brand new?
only. You cannot create any item class other than root item class. Only root item class. Okay. Only root item class. There is no other option. Under root item class only you have to create. Fine. So you are not taking the subscription for this product information management or product hub. Okay, kind of modules which are product management. They use, since they won't be having any scope, they'll be using the root item class to complete or for any other mappings when they are going to integrate this application to bring the data inflows or outflows. They'll be using it. If they take subscription, they can create and they can use accordingly, they can use as per the requirement, and they can use the same item classes based on the requirement for data inflows, outflows, I mean to say integrations point of view. Okay, that's how we do it. Fine.
So item class is used in the data migration.
item class?
It's used in the data migration when we load our data migration for items first time. Do we use item class?
Yeah, definitely we have to use the item class. Otherwise, how you can tell to the system against which item class you have to see in the system? If you are going to create item, we require item class. That may be manual
Right.
process or automatic process. You have to tell to the system with the help of so and so item class, system has to create the item.
Yes.
Yes, in every process you have to specify. Yes, that's what item class is mandated to create item. Which process you are going to follow, you can choose, but item class you have to select. Fine,
Fine.
done. Now we'll talk about item attributes. First we'll talk about item. So with the help, once the item class is ready, you can create the item. And again, with the item class creation, will be selecting the people. Again, when you are selecting the people, you can specify the person can have which privileges. The detailed privileges also you can specify at the time of item creation time. We'll see that. Now we'll look at the point called as item creation. Once item class is ready, and already we created our item master organization. If you want to create the item master organization is required, right? Without item, we can create items only in the item master organization, not in the actual inventories. So item master organization is ready, and item class is ready. And if you want to set unit of measurements, you can set. Otherwise, by default, you can see seeded item unit of measurements. Anyway, for our understanding, we'll create our own. But to create the item, initially not required those. So predefined also you can find in the system. And once these setups are ready, you can go on to create the items, the templates and all. Oracle is providing the predefined, and since Oracle is providing some predefined as a seeded templates, those we can use as of now. And for our understanding, we'll create our own also as a part of those definitions. We'll create our own. Everything we'll go through, we'll create what we need to create. Okay, we'll go and create the item. Now, how many ways you can create the item? You are going to create the item directly. You can create the item. So through manual process, you can create the item. You can just go to create item task and you can create the item. Before creating the item, you have to select the item class, and you are going to create item for which item master organization you have to select. You can select item class and item master organization. If you have a permissions, then only you can do it. Okay, manually you can create the item class. Another option is you can just copy and you can create the item. Say you already created one item, by making a copy of that item you can create new item. And other option is FBDI process. FBDI stands for file based data import. So when we create item, manual item or copy item, and when we create, they use this FBDA. We'll discuss. Okay, we'll discuss now only. Along with that, we have one more option to create the item by using ADFDI. In EBS, we call this functionality as WebADI functionality. Okay, ADF stands for, it's a technology name. Application Development Framework. DI stands for Data Integrator. Okay, Application Development Framework, Data Integrator. So these are the different options available to create the item. One is manually you can create. First we'll see how to create item manually. So going forward we'll be working on these options also, how to copy and how to create new item, how you can just create items from the FPDI, and how you can create items from WebADA or ADFDA. As per Fusion we call as ADFDA only. So in EBS we call as WebADA. Of course we don't have that option, that is available for different data definitions. Okay, fine. So in the ongoing process, say your client is running the business and all, in those cases, if they want to create one more item, they'll create by using the manual item, or else they can, if the item what they want to create, the similar item already you have that means you can go with the copy and you can copy the existing item definition and you can give the respective name and you may change the attributes how you require. And the same applicable for FPDA. Instead of creating the item within the application, if you want to create the item through spreadsheet, you can go with this process through spreadsheet. Within the spreadsheet, if you want to create the items, you can create. Once you create item, you can import into your inventory. And what is this FPDA process? File-based data import. This is the process we use to perform the item conversions as a part of implementation. So we do the data conversion, right? So in EBS, if you want to do the data conversion, what is the practice we follow? We prepare the item templates and we'll give it to the business. They will collect all the items information. We'll be sharing that files with the technical team. They'll convert those item related files into respective flat files or say CSV files, and they'll create the staging tables. Then they'll dump all the item data into the staging tables. They write a lot of programming. They do the validations. Validated items they will move to interface tables. Once data is available in interface tables, will import into base tables. This is a traditional process which you follow when you do the item conversions in EBS. But in the Fusion, you no need to do all those activities. Templates are given by Oracle. What we have to do is, being an inventory consultant, you give this, download these templates. Templates you can download. From where to download, how to download, how the process can be executed, we'll see in our classes. But just to give you the overview on the ways of item creation, what is the meaning of it, we are talking about it. So you can download these FPDA templates from Oracle website itself. Just you have to download and you have to give to the users. They'll fill the data directly. The templates you can convert into CSV and submit into application. Items will be created. No technical resource required to perform the item conversions. Not only item conversions, suppliers. You want to load the suppliers data. You want to load the customers data. You want to load the some open transactional data. No technical resource are required. Templates are available. Which templates? To perform the conversions, supplier conversion, item conversion, customer conversions, any other transaction. It could be master data, transactional data, any conversions if you want to perform in EBS, whatever the process we follow, we no need to follow in the Fusion. It's a very simple process. Download the templates, prepare those templates with the data and import into application. Okay. So all the templates are very much validated. Yeah, please, seems to somebody has question.
Yes, question, Laxman. We have an important point here. To create an item, first we have to search for this item exists or not. So system should validate the item before creating. Is there any mechanism to check the item exists or not based on some criteria in the case of FBDI or ADFDI automatically?
No, see, it's simple. When we are creating the item number and item description are key points. If you are going to use the concept called as automatic numbering and description, whether system has to take automatically or you have to enter manually. Based on that, system will understand. If you are going to follow the manual process, when you are going to follow the manual process for item number creation and item description, then whatever the information you provide, if already it exists, system will fail to create. Okay. So this,
exact match.
Yeah, this directly will create in the system. This also will create directly in the system. This also by connecting with the application only, the spreadsheet will be connected with the application, and this is an offline process. Spreadsheet is an offline process. When you are entering that item information in this, you cannot come to know the item is available or not. Manually you may verify, otherwise the process of creation it will fail. When it will fail, if you are going to use the manual number generation, manual numbering, if you are going to enter description, if the same are matching with the existing item, it will work. So that is the reason ideally just it's always best practice you can go with automatic, so that there won't be any case where it will fail and all. So it will be taking, and you'll be everything will be maintained, every item numbering and description will be maintained as a unique. Okay, item number is a primary criteria here. That is a unique identification system will verify. Okay, so manually, if you are going with the process manual numbering and all, definitely it will understand. Otherwise, automatic numbering means for every item the number would be unique. There is no scope where system will identify there is a duplication. First, of course, it's a standard process. Every company definitely they'll verify if the item what they need, if that is not available, then only they go with the item creation. But when you are loading the bulk items as a part of item class, so system will verify within the one sheet. If you are going to keep in the sequence one by one, it will be creating, it identifies the same item, the number and all it is repeating, it will just give you the error message, and it will stop that item creation in the process itself. That's how it works. Fine. So these are the different options to create the items. Okay, let me write here this separate here itself. Okay.
Like last week, we loaded chart of accounts with rapid implementation.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that process and this one, the FBDI?
No, FBDI you are asking or FBDI you are asking?
FBDI.
Okay, fine.
File-based data.
We'll talk on that now itself. Ways, how many ways you can create the item? This is the point. Fine. We'll talk about anyway. This understanding is required for us. FBDI, ADFDI, and whatever the sheet we used to create that we call as a rapid implementation sheet. RI sheet, that is RI sheet. These are also sheets only, spreadsheets only. FBDI also spreadsheet, ADFDI also spreadsheet, RI also spreadsheet. So why we have this? FBDI for conversions we use. ADFDI we use for a daily transaction purpose. Instead of entering the transaction in the system, to use in the spreadsheet. RI sheet we use for configuration data. That's it. Clear?
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is what we have to understand. Okay. Done. So this is for configuration. This ADFDI not at all for configuration. The daily transactions purpose or any specific simple example item, simple definitions you can use it. But this FBDI normally we use in conversion purpose. Again, these FBDIs can be used in the third-party integrations also. You have items in the third-party application, so you want to bring that items, you want to import all the time, you want to import the items from third-party application to your inventory, say PIM. So you have items in XYZ system. To integrate this XYZ system with the PIM for item imports, you will take the help of this FBDI templates only. We have many other options also, but one of the option is you will fetch the data from XYZ application to this FBDI templates. Okay. Once data is available in the FBDI templates as an inbound interface, you will import into PIM. In that process also you can use. Okay. So this is how you can use. Fine. Done. So these are the different options. I think we just copied here. Yes. This we can remove from here. Okay. So item class, if you want to create item classes are required. Item class level primarily this is what you can set numbering, security, and what templates. When you are creating item, any one of the template you select from the item class and you can create the item. So once item class is ready, and prior to that, what are the setups we completed? If those are ready, system will allow to create the item. Unit of measurements you can get seeded. If you require additional, you can create. Anyway, in our classes we'll be creating. So once you create, as a part of item definition only, we'll be assigning the items to inventory organizations. Okay, item will assign to inventory organization. Now we'll talk about item attributes. When you create the item, attributes are required. What is the purpose of attributes? I'm not asking the classifications, just what is the purpose of item attributes? What is the purpose?
It's additional information for the item.
Anyone, please? Sorry,
Additional. It's additional, like descriptive flex field.
wrong. Your answer is totally wrong. Item attributes not like directly descriptive information. No. Anyone, please?
Let's use the
Control the
behavior of
item.
the item. Specification of the item.
Specification of item. Okay. Any other answers?
Control the item transactions.
Yeah. So to set
Collection of information about item.
collection of information, it may not be collecting the information. It's all about setting the behavior of the item. To keep and setting the permissions for the item. Setting behavior means, okay, the item should act as a inventory item or not, or it can be used in the, just it has to be maintained, it has to be created and maintained in the inventory only, or else with that item you can perform the inventory transactions. The item is just purchased item, or still you can purchase that items. Just the item you are creating, you created an item, you purchased, okay, done. Again you want to perform the purchasing activities or not, again still you want to purchase the same items in the organizations. Again the item should be available in which applications. All these controls, or you can say behaviors, and again that item, so whatever the item you are just creating, within the item level you can apply the status attributes where you can decide the item can be available in which organization level, item master level, or I mean availability, not the attributes can be set, or you want to restrict what level, item master level or inventory organization level, actual inventory level. All these controls you can set the behavior. This item, whatever the item you are creating, that item should be available in which process. That has to be available in the P2P process, or it has to be available in the O2C process. I mean to say exactly in the P2P O2C specific applications. The item should be available in the purchasing application or not. That means when you are creating the requisition, that item should be available or not. When you are creating the PO, that should be available or not. When you are creating the sales order, the item should be available, or else first of all the item is inventory item or not. Again the item should be available in the bills of material. Okay, and again in which process the item should be available. All the characteristics you can set for the item. That is the meaning of item attributes. Along with that, to capture some additional information also you can have a additional attributes, but primary is behavior, to set the behavior in which process, in which functionality, okay, the item should be available, to keep that item available, and to set some privileges, we can set some privileges for the item. Based on the privileges only the item would be available. You can make use of the item in any process. So for that we set the attributes. Again those attributes are classified, right? Those attributes are classified. Those attributes are classified as a very basic attributes, and some basic attributes like it belongs to so and so application. When it belongs to so and so application, within that application that item can be used in the transaction process, or that has to be maintained just as a specific application, specific item or not. Okay, so this is how we have. If you look at the classification of items, we'll see what are the classifications we have for item attributes first, then we'll proceed with the item creation. So very simple point to understand, the attributes will decide the item belongs to which application, and the item can be available in which transactional process, and in which business process, this all can be decided. Okay, so it's all about setting the behavior or controls, giving the permissions or setting the restrictions for the item. All can be possible with the item attributes. So we'll see first what are the different item attributes we have as a part of Fusion application. So say different type of item attributes. Type of item attributes. Okay, type of item attributes. It's very important. Anyway, we'll just see when you are creating, just to understand this point. So when we talk about item attributes in the Fusion application, primarily we have an attribute called as main attributes, which are very important. And we have operational attributes. And we have user defined attributes. And we have additional attributes. These only we call as DFF. And transactional attributes. Okay, these are the different attributes we can associate with the item. So where is our status attributes? Okay, where is our status attributes? In EBS we have a status attributes, right? Okay, we have a, sorry?
It's at the main.
Yeah, correct. We have in EBS status attributes we have, and along with the status attributes, I mean, what we could say like, or else let me talk about this. We'll see what are the main attributes so that easily you can understand. Just we'll go with a simple example, then we'll compare. Fine. So main attributes. Okay, when I talk about main attributes, so simple, just we'll go with a simple example. Few attributes I'll list out so that you can understand. Main attributes, which we treat as main attributes. So main attributes are item number, we call as main attribute, and item description, okay, item status, and there are many other. If you want to write some, if you want to specify life cycle for the item, if the item is, you are going to define that item, the product life cycle management will be having the different phases for that items. Those also will falls under these main attributes only. Say life cycle phases, okay, and approval status, okay. So this is how, like, again, revisions for items. We'll have a revisions for item that will be working anyway. So this all comes under, there are a few more attributes which comes under item attribute, main attributes. These are very common. Main means the attributes which are common for any item. Okay, main attributes means common attributes which are required for any item. You create any sort of item, okay, based on your business record. For every item we need number, description, definitely have to specify the status, and life cycle and all. If it is not required, if the item is not related to your life cycle where you will be having different phases to address, you can ignore it, but this is part of main attributes only. The approval status you may implement, may not implement. By default, every item which you create, it will approve automatically. That system will specify the status. And the revisions, yes, revisions also part of main attributes. These all are common attributes for any item you create in the system. These are required. If you think you don't require those, you can ignore. Okay, so These are common for any item. Okay, common for any item. That's all about main attributes. So other attributes are operational attributes. Sorry. Operational attributes. What do you mean by operational attributes? Anyone, please?
It's stockable or transactable, purchasable, reversible, that is reservable. And these things are all operational attributes.
Yeah. So these operational attributes based on the application. Okay, based on the application. If you take example as order management. Just I'm taking one of the few examples. If you take one of the attribute called as order management related attribute, for order management we have a attribute called as shippable. You are creating item. If you specify operational attribute as a shippable, then only the item you can ship. Okay. The same way, like say you are going to create, you have an item related to some purchasing application. So you are creating item. That item you want to involve in the negotiation process. The item when you are purchasing, the item related pricing and all you want to negotiate. So if you want to set that negotiation is required, so then only you can perform the negotiations. You can have a negotiation with that. So the item we are creating in PIM, product information management, or say inventory simply. But for that item in the different applications, which controls should work? Okay, which control should work to keep that item available in the other application, that is a different thing. So those all will comes under status attributes only. Okay, the item is purchased item or purchasable based on if it is purchased. Yes, you can just the items which are already purchased, those you can treat as purchased item. If you want to perform the new purchases, that has to be purchasable. Apart from that, some other controls if you want to have in the say purchase application, say negotiation you want to set as required. So I'll set attribute as a negotiation required. Sorry. Negotiation required. So that means even we have item here, when we are using in the order management, you can set some controls for that item, whether the order management that item is shippable or not. In the purchasing, when we are going to purchase that item, so negotiations are required for that item or not. So this sort of some controls you can set. When you can do this, when you are performing some operations. Okay, when we are performing some operations. So in the sales process, this is one of the operation which you perform is shipping. There it that item, if you have that item as a part of sales order, that item is that can be shippable or not. All these controls you can set as a operational attributes. And other attributes, these all are so based on requirement only will set. I'll show you in the system how to define and all. User defined attributes, you can define additional attributes in the same way by using the directly user defined attributes means you can create some group of attributes and you can use DFF descriptive flex fields to capture additional information at item level as additional attributes you can treat. So transactional attributes, these you cannot set at item creation time. When you create the transaction, based on the transaction creation, the item will capture these attributes. I'll show you in the system how it works. Okay, primarily these attributes, main attributes and operational attributes, these also I'll be covering. So user defined attributes, how to set up, and the descriptive flex field, DFFs. Additional attributes means additional information, how to capture, how to, in which scenario we use transactional attributes. I'll take you through but just understand these are the very primary attributes. Out of that, main attributes are very important. Everything will be covered within that. These are some additional aware operational attributes. When you are performing some operations, some transactions within the other applications, how you can set a control on that process. As we discussed, it is a shippable or negotiations required, and there are many other attributes which you can specify. We'll see those as a part of the process when you are working on the application, and we'll be testing those. And where is our status attributes? Okay, we have a item status attributes, right? Those item status attributes are part of main attribute only. Within the main attributes, what we have? Status. This is nothing but status attributes only. Within this, we'll have many attributes. Okay, if item status is active, what attributes should be applicable? If item status is inactive, what attributes system has to apply? All you can specify within the status attribute only. When you are defining, just when you are working on the system, just I'll show you that how it works. Okay, so in EBS, see here, in EBS, along with this status attributes, we have item definition attribute, right? Now what Oracle did is, the item definitions and status attributes, they clubbed. That means item definition attributes also now part of status attribute only. I'll show you that. So what are the examples for item definition attributes in EBS?
Inventory item,
Yes.
purchased item,
Exactly.
customer ordered item.
Yes. Costing.
Nature of item.
All we call
Nature
as
of item.
yeah. These all we call as item definition attributes. Now those also we have as a part of item status attributes only. Just they clubbed that too. They included within the main attributes. Okay, within the main attributes, one of the attribute is status. Within the status attribute, we have a status attributes as well as item definition attributes also. Okay, so these are the points we have to understand. So once we are clear on this, we can start with the item class creation, then item creation. That's how we can proceed. Maybe it's already almost 9:30. So in the next session, we can start with these definitions. Okay. So any questions on these points, please? Because this is a stage where we have to understand these points detail level. That is the reason directly I'm not jumping into application. So we'll discuss once you get this understanding. You can just go with the definitions and transaction flows and etc. So further any queries and all we can discuss anyway. So any questions based on these points, please? Item class or item.
How many approval status do we have, Lakshman?
See that you can specify, like you can, it will be showing it's not approved and in progress and pre-approved. There are various statuses. Again, it depends like which process you are implementing for item request and item definitions. Again, the status also little bit vary. But just I'll take you through. I'll show you in the application there itself. You can see and understand. Okay. So only the point what I'm trying to request is whatever we are discussing or focusing, we'll focus on that. The statuses when we are working on the approvals, we'll see that. Now by understanding, now we cannot connect to any other point, right? That is the reason. Just when you are working on that specific topic or concept, definitely we'll discuss whatever we have to understand. Okay. That is just I mentioned. Somebody asked approvals we have means I said yes. That's it. That's enough. So when you are going to implement that, we'll see that. Yeah.
Can you just elaborate that FBDI like RF? It's been
No, FBDI means the items. Say your client you are implementing. You know item conversions in EBS, right? You have idea?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
conversions,
have.
what we do, we collect all the items information. We'll ask the client to provide all the data, right? That will be loaded into
Yes.
inventory. The same you can do by using the FBDA. We have to discuss many points. Before I show in the system, I'll explain. Okay. So we have to
Okay.
download the templates from OER. Okay, instead of discussing now, we'll do that. For now, just take the point. These are the ways. Manually, you can create the item. If already item is available, if you want to create similar item, or you may change some parameters after creating, you can copy and you can create new item, or else you can create item directly from ADFDI. And if you want to load the bulk items into system, you can use the FBDI process also. How to execute the FBDI process, we'll discuss and do it. Okay, just I'm introducing what are the options are available. That's all. There are multiple steps we have to follow to execute the items import into system from the sheet. We are not we didn't cover this concept. I'm just giving the name only. Take as a point, to perform the item conversions we use FBDI template. You can call it as item template, FBDI template. This is a template. Okay, to perform the item conversions in the system, we use FBDA template. Just take that point. How to use this FBDA template, what are the steps we have to follow, we'll see when we are creating the items through FBDA template. Just I'm trying to give you some points as introduction, so that further when you are going to work, that will be known information. Anyway, once again we'll discuss. Okay, so these are the points we have to understand. Yeah, please.
Item class security.
Yeah, Jerry, you can go ahead.
Item class security. It seems like very high maintenance future when you have to provide security on user level, basically across all user in organization who use application and use items, or this is just for...
One second. This is for item creation, not to use the items. The business users who are going to record the transactions, for that we are not setting security. If that business unit have access to particular inventory organization where items are available, the user can have access. But here this security related to the people who are going to create the item. In every organization, somebody will take the responsibility, right? One or multiple.
MDM.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
You have indicated DF. Hello.
Yeah, Vidyanathan. Yeah, please.
You have indicated DF, but there is no mentioning of KF of key flex field. Nothing is there.
Key flex field we don't have for this item. Okay, this is for the additional attribute to capture some additional information. We have DFF as a part of item attributes. Okay.
Lakshman, mainly for item classes for numbering and security and template. So change the three major.
Yeah, very primary. Along with that, within this only we'll set the unit of measurement and other details also. But instead of writing everything detail level, to give you the understanding, I written those 3 points. You can include few other details also.
Yeah, we can't achieve this functionality in the item category. That's the reason they created a separately here.
Item category you cannot achieve.
Yeah. So here, normally in the computer, you suppose is a parent. Like a item parent item class means. So the parent item class is not allowed to create any item creation. Only we have to use the event.
Yes.
Any parent child concept.
See, simple. Otherwise, you take this instead of computer, as earlier taken example, say laptop. Instead of changing this, we'll explain. So parent is laptop. Earlier somebody mentioned the other item is maybe mouse. Laptop you can create as parent, mouse you can create as child. Sometimes when you are going to create the complete laptop as item, you use the parent and you'll create. In that case, you can set item creation as yes here also. When you are creating the mouse, by using the child item class, you will create the mouse. That's all.
Okay, so in the parent class also we can create the item.
Yes. If you want to have a item creation with a classification of desktop or laptop, in that case, computer means what? You have a separate classification as a desktop and laptop. So if you don't want to allow, to create item with a computer item class, you can make it no, so that you can create items by selecting desktop item class or laptop item class. That's all.
Yes, because in this example we got clearly, because computer is a high level, because on the computer you have desktop or laptop, or that we got clear example. That is the reason. Okay. Thanks, Lakshman.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, in EBS, first we set item flex field, one segment, then we are going to create item, right? Here there is no flex field concept.
System item, no. EBS we said that, in EBS we have, here no.
So there is no key flex field concept at all.
Key flex fields we have, but for item we don't have.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Okay, item we don't have. Fine.
In FBDA process, can you explain us one third-party system conversion into cloud?
Sorry.
FBDA example loading the data. Can you please explain us?
Yeah, I'll show.
Any third part?
EBS how we do. I'll explain. In fusion with the FBDA how we are doing. I'll explain.
Yeah. Okay. EBS we know, but we want to know third-party system to cloud. How do we do it?
Third party to cloud integration only. Or else what you can do is use this template, collect the data from that third party, and follow the FBDA process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, same. We'll discuss the detailed process. We'll discuss the same. Will be executing whatever we are going to discuss. How many steps involved? Everything we'll do, and we'll be finding the items in the system which are captured in this template. You see that just
so Lakshman, while doing the the demo, we find in the root item class, under root item aeronautical, like life science or everything is already predefined is there. So if we want to create the item, we can use that existing item class. That item class, because already have the security and item number already predefined. Am I correct?
I got your question. See here, we discussed the point. So when you create the item class, within that we have to you want to create the item, right? You want to create the item. You want to create the item means you should, for you, already security need to be defined within the existing item class. Okay. Who can create item? Who has access to that item class, right?
Yes.
You didn't create item class. That means there is no scope where you selected your name, your username into that item class. That is the reason you cannot use that item class. If you want to use existing item class, go to that, open that item class, go to security section. There include your username and your user organization, item master organization. Then that item class you can use to create the items. You should provision the access.
So on that existing item class, we should include our item user and security, everything, the item, then automatically it's big.
The item class level, what we have to do is, who can create the items by using this item class, you have to specify. For already available item class, how your name can be specified, right? How can you guess your user can be added within that already?
Yes, you are correct. No possible.
Yeah. If you want to use, go to that item class and add your name and add your inventory organization. Then that item class you will have access to create items.
Okay, Ashwin. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We'll see. When we see that, we'll get more understanding about it. It's very simple. We'll understand when you see. Fine. Any other questions, please?
So, Lakshman, will we be talking about the bill of material or item structures or that sort of?
Yeah, I'll take you through the basic, the BOM and WIP configuration and transaction flow. So primarily this inventory, purchasing, order management, and primarily along with that we are covering P2P, O2C, the basic flow, and I'll covering the equivalent BOM and WIP how we have here. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that. Basic setups and the process with respect to those two applications. But naming convention changed. That will anyway we'll discuss when we touch those concepts. Fine. So any other questions here, please?
Will you be covering planning too, Lakshman?
Planning, no, planning center and all. That's again separate module.
Okay, but do you provide training separately for the planning?
No, we are not providing since there is no that much demand which we could see for trainings.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Lakshman, how about the inventory planning methods like min-max, Kanban, those things we have in
Yeah,
EBS,
we'll be working on that. Those plannings, inventory plannings, we'll be working on. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Fine. So that's all for today. So,
Hey, Lakshman.
And yeah, please.
Lakshman, this is Srini here.
Yes,
if everybody's done. I have a different question then.
Please.
Yeah. Do you have Vidyasagar number by chance?
No, one second. That points we'll discuss later. Then. Yeah.
I need the number. If you can possibly.
Yeah, one second.